Hello, everyone. Welcome to the What I Need podcast, and thank you for joining us. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, and engage us in the comment section. And we're discussing the recent assassination of one of the conservative media personnel, Charlie Kirk. I believe this assassination happened today, Wednesday, September 10th, at one of the universities in Utah, and it looks like the gunman or the individual that committed this horrendous crime must have been someone that was highly trained. It's still at large. The suspect is still at large. The suspect hasn't been caught yet, but we do want to share our condolences to the family of Charlie Kirk and also discuss how bad the rhetoric is and how this needs to be toned down. You have the right to your opinion, and you do not have the right to take someone else's life for their own opinion. I don't agree with a lot of his politics. I know most people don't agree with his politics, but we're talking about a life of a person. I mean, I saw the video, it was horrendous, and I can't imagine what the family is going through, especially his wife and his children. Based on the information I've seen online, it looks like they witnessed it live, and I can't imagine the trauma that those family members are going through. My condolences to the family members, and I pray that the Lord gives them peace in this difficult time. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I join others in praying for the family to give them the fortitude to bear this loss. He was quite a young guy, 30, at the age of 31, and he was already making waves. Whether we agree with his political view or not, at 31, compared to relative to others, he was already making waves. Traveled, gone to a lot of universities for debates, you know, challenging people to his political views. And then I think the last time I saw him was in Oxford when he went to Oxford University and literally debate quite a number of students. And I don't quite agree with his points, but for him at that age to be making waves, I think I truly commend him. I mean, people should have right to their political views. If you don't agree with people, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should resort to violence. That is not how we should practice democracy, or that is not how democracy is envisaged to be. But let us engage in political discussion, debate. At the end of the day, the better argument should win the debate. And if somebody is winning the debate, it doesn't mean that we should resort to violence. And let us also know that at the backdrop of all of this is a family, and he was a husband, a brother, and a loving father to his children. So this is quite sad that, politics, turn violent. And if you see the video, it was quite a very horrific thing to see. Literally, it felt like somebody opened the tap and then the water is rushing out of the tap. And this is also a reminder that when you are engaging in political discussions, do not resort to violence. Just make a superior argument, and I hope your argument wins at all times.
Yes, it's definitely a sad day, and it's unfortunate that a lot of people would not agree that gun violence is a problem. A lot of people believe that guns don't need to be taken away because it's the Second Amendment. I mean, people should have the right to bear arms. People should have the right to protect themselves and their family members. But in this situation, you're gonna say it's the failure of the security team. They should have secured the perimeter. We saw something similar almost happen to President Trump during the campaign. Someone went up on the roof and took a shot at him, and God narrowly saved Trump. That's why Trump became the president and is still here today. But definitely, people need to be careful. People need to watch their rhetoric. People need to make sure that they don't take laws into their hands. If you don't agree with their politics, move on. And there's no need in taking anyone's life. There's no need in cutting the life of a young man short because of his political view. You know, a lot of people don't agree with him, but if you go on X, you see a lot of information on it about the things that Charlie Kirk had said about different things, about culture, about politics, about immigrant. And a lot of people are blaming Democrats for this, saying it's Democrats' rhetoric. that actually caused this to happen. Even though no one has been caught, even though they haven't arrested anyone for this crime, a lot of people are already suggesting that the Democrats did it. And if you remember the Democratic politician in Minnesota that were killed in their house, a lot of people on the right made fun of them and didn't really think much about those people. Even though those people lost lives, their family members lost people, lost family members. And now it's Charlie's turn, and it's just unfortunate and it's sad. This is just my opinion. I believe that the officers needs to find whoever did this horrendous crime, and they need to be brought to the books. And people also need to, tone down their rhetoric, right? Because you have a camera, it doesn't mean you should be saying gibberish and making fun of people or saying disparaging things about people. Again, be careful out there. If you're going to any event, make sure there's proper security in place before attending the event. I mean, I believe these would have been avoided. There was a lot of crowd at that event today. The security personnel, obviously in this situation, whatever they did wasn't enough, and the young man's life was taken away from.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a young man's life was taken away from him. This is also a reminder for us that engage in political discussion. Nobody is trying to take, freedom of expression away, but at some point it looks like we need to tone it down. We need to be aware of our surroundings. We need to be aware of people around us that don't quite feel comfortable with our rhetorics. I'm not saying you should moderate your speech, but you really have to have some kind of self-awareness to know that not everybody agree with your position. And I will also think that an event like that, because that was quite an event, there's literally, in fact, I'm thinking like 10,000 people was there easily, because that was a big crowd. An event like that and there was no proper security, I think that was a failure of the organizers, or maybe they did not, think of something like this happening. But I would definitely think that is a failure of, the organizers to provide appropriate security and to have a proper, mark up the perimeters and stuff like that. And I think about 3 hours ago, the FBI director, Kash Patel, was reporting that they had somebody in custody. About an hour ago, he's already tweeting again that, they released the subject, and then maybe that's not the person that, that committed the horrific crime. So we'll keep following it and see where the investigation leads. But my hope is that they shouldn't politicize it. But if you go through Fox News, especially on Instagram and Facebook, you will see the kind of rhetoric that is coming out from that place. People no longer have sympathy. It looks like things like this have been normalized. So I just hope that they don't politicize the investigation, and then that whoever, that did this is, um, is the right, consequences for the action. But my hope is that they don't politicize it. Remember, when you are pushing for your views, make sure that you are aware of people around you. And I'm not gonna say moderate your speech. I'm just saying that just be aware. All times know that not everybody agree with you, and when you find out that not everybody agree with your position, I don't think there is any reason to try to push it down or shove it down people's throat. And I think that is, one way to avoid things like this.
Yeah, you're definitely correct. Yeah, everybody needs to tone down their rhetoric and stop blaming each other. Stop blaming Republicans, blaming Democrats blaming Republicans, and let the investigations go through and see where it ends. I'm sure they're gonna catch the perpetrator, and the perpetrator will definitely face the full cost of the law. It's important that they don't politicize it so that the family can get the proper justice in this case. Again, my condolences to the family, and I pray that God gives them peace in this difficult time.
Yeah, I mean, this, people back home, people in Nigeria can easily learn from this. People that are poking the bear, people that are trying to incite violence based on ethnicity, based on religion back home in Nigeria. I think people can learn from this. There is no reason to be pushing for all of that stuff. Just talk politics, debate ideas, and then let us not make it about personal attacks. And at that point, it's no longer politics; it becomes, personal. So instead of, personalizing all this, let us just come together and have a discussion, and then let the superior argument win. And if you lose on the debate, go back home, do your homework. Maybe next time come back and the debate continues. But it's not enough, because you disagree with somebody to pick up arms, and go cut their life short. That is that is not how, the founding fathers, how they thought of democracy. Is not how they envisaged democracy to be. So let us learn. There is something that they used to say in our place. They say a child that have no parents or have no mother, he takes advice from where they're advising other people, have parents, where they're advising them. So this is it. We don't have to experience it to learn a lesson from it. We can always learn a lesson from the people that is happening to. So this has happened back home. We can actually learn a lesson from this and stop poking the bears and stop fighting ourselves. We are just one people. And if you have a superior argument, make your point and then let people, give people the time to soak in your argument and see if they will agree with you. Do not shove your opinion on other people. Just state your opinion and just keep it moving. And thank you for your support. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel about this whole situation. And let us know how you handle political discussion. And we'll meet you in the comment section and have a good night.